What is up everyone, it's CMG here. Vendetta is finally playable in Overwatch 2 from now until December the 1st. She is the newest DPS hero in the game and the first to be the one that focuses on melee attacking rather than projectiles and ranges. Vendetta has a very unique kit that I can demonstrate in this video in the form of a small guide, something that I have done for many newer heroes before her. So all of this includes her normal attacks, all of her abilities, and her ultimate. I probably won't cover her perks too much because I already mentioned them in a previous video. Also, before I forget, do be sure to hit the like button on the video and do be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. It helps me out a ton, and just as important as that, it is completely free to do. Thank you so much for all the people that have done it so far. I really highly appreciate you. Alright, time to become the she-wolf of rebellion. So from humble beginnings into understanding Vendetta's kit, we have her main weapon of choice, her greatsword made out of hard light, known as the Palatine Fang. Her most basic function of using this weapon are 3 destructive strikes. You do 2 front swings and then an overhead slash. Now, it's important to note that every hit on an enemy contributes to this gauge you can see in the middle here. This stacks up to 5 times and it allows her passive Onslaught to come into play, where you're able to increase your movement and attack speed. So do be sure to land those hits as much as possible in order to improve your worth in game. Now on the other side of the spectrum you have Vendetta's more defensive state, which she calls warding stance. If you're on PS5, this will be your L2 ability. If you hold this down, she will start using her sword as a temporary shield. Now, unlike Reinhardt's or Brigida's shield, where they successfully block incoming damage without taking damage themselves, Vendetta unfortunately still takes some damage while blocking. You gotta remember, a sword is technically a temporary shield and damage can still be taken, right? But you reduce the amount of said damage taken while in warding stance, almost like how Oris's Fortify ability works. Now there's another gauge shown here that tracks your energy to use this. The more damage you block, the more you consume the gauge. You have up to 3 stacks of this gauge, and considering the amount of projectiles that are coming your way, this will deplete quite quickly, so you'll need to use this in moderation. Right, now it's time to talk about Vendetta's abilities and how they work. The first of these abilities is the Whirlwind Dash, your L1 ability. Trigger this and she'll use her rockets to push herself forwards and swing her sword in a 360 slash right at the enemy targets. If you manage to perform this into a group, you will do damage to multiple enemies at once. This ability is a nice way to force enemies back and create space for yourself and your team. Or you could use it to put pressure on a low HP enemy or anyone who happens to be out of position, or perhaps just show off if you're that kind of player. Now, the next ability is quite possibly the most useful of everything in her kit, because this gives her increased mobility, and some of the combinations you can do can be quite devastating if executed correctly. This is the Soaring Slice. Vendetta will throw her sword into a chosen direction, whether that's right in front of you or up into the air, and she will then fly herself towards it. Throwing the sword up into the air allows her access to higher grounds so she can get to those enemies way in the back to eliminate, or plan even more devastating ground attacks. While you throw your sword up into the air and grab it, you have the choice of performing an extra overhead slash when you land, which will be the R2 button on console. Now this Soaring Slice can also do damage on impact right in front of you as well, so if you're one of these people that like to do combos, you can use it as a frontal assault to anyone during those 1v1 situations. It'll do a slight amount of damage, but of course it'll only contribute to any kind of combo you'll want to attempt to do, whether that's charging in with Slice and then 3-hit combo, or slice in and try Whirlwind slash straight afterwards. You have quite a lot of options there depending on your situation. Now, the last ability we have here is the Projected Edge. Now, this can only be used if you're in warding stance. This is practically the only known projectile that Vendetta has in her kit. It acts as a retaliation attack on the enemy while you're trying to block damage. She will throw out a projectile in the form of a slash straight at the enemy and will do 80 damage on impact. It's important to note that while this can be quite a useful thing to use, this, of course, consumes 1 stack of your energy gauge, just like how you consume it while blocking damage. so you can't consistently spam this. So depending on your situation, you can either use your stance to block damage, or if you have the resources, throw out a projectile to land some cheeky damage. Okay, so Vendetta's ultimate ability is quite devastating. This right here is a massive cleave attack that absolutely obliterates enemies in front of you, even shields. When you trigger the ultimate, an extra time gauge will appear. Now, the longer you allow this gauge to fill up while you're in the air or while you're ulting, the more damage this will inflict. Any enemies in line of its attack will probably be disposed of with a one-hit death. If everyone happens to be in the line of attack, you can even perform team wipes with this, if you're lucky. Now, this ultimate is absolutely something that can be combined with other abilities to perform unexpected attacks. For example, if you want to attempt high ground maneuvers, you can throw your sword into the air while using Soaring Slice and then hit ult. Now you have significant space to work with where you want to place this ultimate. If you press the L2 button while ultimate is active, you can adjust the shoulder position to ensure the right placement of the strike when you perform it. If used correctly, this has potential to be one of the more devastating ultimates in the game. If you attempt to do an aerial attack while doing it, just be sure Anna isn't around with a sleep dart available, otherwise she'll probably just sleep you before you even do it. That's pretty much the only weakness of this ultimate, is that like Cassidy's ultimate, you're basically lit up like a Christmas tree, so yeah, if anyone sees you up into the air, anybody can stop you if they have the tools. Alright, so there you have it. That's pretty much Vendetta's full kit in a few words for a short video. It's nice to finally have a DPS hero that does things unlike any other, especially when most of her kit features entirely melee attacks with a small projectile thrown in there for good measure, just to remind everybody this is indeed an FPS. So anyway, what are your own opinions on Vendetta so far? Have you enjoyed playing her? Is she easy to understand? Is she not easy to understand? Are some of her damage outputs unfair? Do they need changing? What are your early thoughts on the new hero? Share what you're thinking down in the comment section down below. So this is going to be the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this idea for content and you want to see more in the future, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. You can also check me out on all of my other social medias, my Twitter account, my Discord, and of course my TikTok. Let's not forget as well my Instagram, my Threads, and my Blue Sky. Thank you for stopping by, chaps. Have a great day. Have a great life. Be nice to your fellow gamers because we are all human beings. I've been CMG as always. Until the next video, I shall see you later. Peace!